Hello, my Taurus Collective. I am here today to give you your message for September 2025. I was about to say 2028. Just don't ask. So, like always, I'm going to talk about astrology and how that astrology is going to be affecting you and how that is going to be reflecting with the cards. The two most major events are the two eclipses that are happening in September. So, we're going to go off first for the first one. Whew, sorry. I recently had an asthma attack. I might be coughing every once in a while. Try to pause it if it happens. I am still recovering from my asthma attack. So September 6th through 7th. Why the two dates? First, September 6th, Uranus goes retrograde in the sign of Gemini in the first degree. This is super important. It's going to be affecting us till February 3rd, 2026. Though some things say that it's going to be in November. The last time this happened was in 1941 through 1949, and that marked an uprising against people's oppression, provoking revolution, civil war. It's kind of like it had like trials of the Nazis, it had like the ending of World War II, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like it is like a revolution kind of energy where the positive energy kind of gets over being oppressed by the negative energy and then fights back and squashes it. Um, so that being said, it's talking about a quick and an immediate and large shift of emotions. Emotions big time because of the fact that we do have Pisces and Saturn in retrograde till for 2.5 years. I can't even remember when was the last time I told you that this was. Again, I would be really up to date with astrology. Like I do them every like once a week. I put the whole week spread, but at daily I separate the same video into small videos so that people can get little snippets of every single day of the week. You should really get on point with that. If we know what's going to happen astrologically, we know how the energies are going to affect us. For example, this energy, it's not something you can avoid because it's something like with the different planets and the different magnetic fields around the planet that are going to be pushing on everybody's soul. And there's no way for us to ignore it. So that's something that's happening also. On the 7th, there is a full moon in the sign of Pisces. Again, very important because Pisces is being strongly influenced at this time. And that is a lunar eclipse. So it is talking about a phasing out of something that is in the shadows. It's like a subconscious block, a subconscious, I want to say, lie. It's kind of like if I were talking woo woo, I would say this would be like a release of a spell that has been inflicting everyone at the same time and coming something to life. Now, in the beginning of the year, I told you that we're moving officially to the age of Aquarius. If you guys saw the astrology, well, if we and that's when the age of Aquarius got crowned. And we're going to go through different periods during these next 2.5 year period of time. And in this one, it's when the emotions are being shifted, where people are literally seeing the truth behind people's emotions. Like people can pretend to cry about something that hurt their feelings and people believe them. But this is the energy of, I know you're pretending to cry, so stop crying because it's not going to work for me anymore. So it's kind of like unmasking narcissism when it comes to emotional abuse. And that's how we're going to see it here. Also, there is a trine, which is a return of energy with Jupiter in Cancer. And I feel like it's a wave of this past energy of strength and revolution where people had that emotional intelligence kind of coming back from their roots up so that they can like change things in their lives. There's a lot of explanation to tell you that this will affect really strongly your emotions, and I want to see how it will be affecting your life. And ironically, I split it and it's the card of judgment. So it is a shift in the way that you perceive situations around you and how you judge people, places, things, and energies, even yourself, as my phone just confirmed that. Ooh, I got that whole stack and it all went upside down, of course. So we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. We have Justice in reverse. We have the Three of Cups in reverse. We have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And we have the Five of Wands in reverse. Literally is talking about you're no longer investing in injustices. You no longer are celebrating others people's downfall. You no longer want to invest in fighting on things that do not serve the greatest good of yourself and the life that you want for your future, who you want to represent. Then we have, this is, all the cards are kind of coming out together. Then we have the Nine of Cups. You're making a new wish for your life, a new desire going forward. And it has the Strength card, something that is, like, I want to say, dominating your inner animal. Nine of Swords, that have had you mentally confused for a long period of time. So what we have to realize about the Strength card is talking about your strength of will. We all have animalistic instincts, okay? And the animalistic instincts trigger the seven cardinal sins, right? Which is, I need to survive over everybody else. I need to reproduce. I need as much as I can to survive, right? And it gives us those seven deadly sins. And one of the things that we're coming to do here in this world is tame our inner demon, right? Our inner animal, and bringing that inner animal to consciousness. In other words, it's kind of like a parent taming a 2-year-old that is having a tantrum because he decides to throw himself on the floor and starts acting up a fool because he wants something from the store. Any parent knows how much that really sucks. Except you're taming yourself. And in this energy, it's kind of like everything you've done up to now, all the things you've invested in, the things that you have done have been out of balance because it's been what the 2-year-old child wants. And right now you're making a wish to dominate this 2-year-old child because it's been messing with your mind too much, self-sabotaging you. Okay? Ten of Swords. You just want this all to end, the darkness that this energy has brought towards you. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles, and you don't mind putting forth the effort required to make this change happen for you. Oops. Wait a second. The cards fell on the floor. All right. It was only one card. I thought there was two. And it's actually the Three of Wands. And looking for the opportunities you need to be able to move forward, Taurus. Look at that. Seven of Swords. Because you know that you've been cheated out of things that are supposed to come towards you, but it's not through somebody externally. Though it can reflect through people externally blocking you, you've actually accepted these people in your life because of the energies that have been distorted inside of you, right? I think sometimes people think that judgment happens when you die, but you're actually being judged here. And all these like negative things that keep happening in your life has to do with you judging yourself and believing that you should be punished for it. The thing is, it's like an imbalance based on this energy of the inner child. And then we have the the King of Swords, which is talking about cutting the BS because you're not allowing your emotions to dictate how you're supposed to go, with the King of Wands, and putting yourself like in check as to what direction you really want to go towards and what has been stopping you. And then the bottom of the deck, oh, I wanted one and I grabbed two. It activates your Magician and your Empress energy, which literally is talking about activating your ability to manifest what is good in your life. In other words, Taurus, after saying all those things, is you're going to stop self-sabotaging because you're realizing that you've been investing on bullshit that you don't really need. And the reason you invested it in is because you allowed your fears or your inner tantrums to dictate what direction you should have in your life, which literally has been self-sabotaging you. And now you're kind of like, I'm over it. I'm going to look for opportunities that are going to help me grow. I don't care if Joe Schmo gets a car and I don't have one. I'm just going to work towards me because what's important is me and what I need, and who the hell cares about Joe Schmo. This would be great for like, and this is Do you know that phenomena that happened when people started having Facebook and then moved into all these other social medias where everybody's like, look at me, the food I'm eating, look at me, the vacation I'm having, look at me, I'm kissing my partner and I'm so happy. And everybody started hating on their lives because they're like, everybody has, sorry, I told you, I do have the asthma situation going on right now. Everybody started hating on their lives because they thought everybody else had a better life than them, right? This is getting to the point where it's like, oh, well, that person has that, but I have this. And let me focus on this because it's more important. And no longer feeding onto other people. Because something that I have noticed through magic and through spirituality and spell work is that the more we focus on other people's haves and desire that person's halves, the more we're giving that person and that energy power to have more. And we're depleting our halves. Okay. So it's like, what is that? Power goes where intention goes, or something like that, where you're focusing on something and you give it more power. That's not just, where your mind goes, but that also goes with what intentions you put online. Like if you're focusing on, oh, this girl has that, oh, this movie star has that, oh, this person has that, you're actually giving them of your power for them to have more of it. So tuning off of it will help you come back to you, and then give to you. So just a side note, I don't know where that came from, but now next thing is the 21st. The 21st is the new moon in the sign of Virgo. It's actually closing off a portal. So on the 23rd of August, we had a new moon in the sign of Virgo. And I also explained how the sun is in the sign of Virgo as well. And I said it was like a faux eclipse, right? And I told you wouldn't see it anywhere else talking about this because of the fact that it's something that my guides told me. It's not all on social media and stuff. So a faux eclipse, it's like a prelude to something that's actually going to happen, right? So whatever like started happening in this Virgo um full moon, new moon on the 23rd of August, is kind of like this is actually what's going to really happen for this 23rd, because this one's actually a solar eclipse. That one was a faux solar eclipse. This is a real solar eclipse. It's both in the sign of Virgo. So it was a portal of a shift. And you got the prelude of it on the 23rd. So I'm going to need you guys to all to focus on what happened to you guys on the 23rd and how that's going to be reflecting for you on the 21st. Again, excuse me. Besides that, we have an opposition with Saturn and Pisces. And Saturn and Pisces, like I explained, is in retrograde, which is talking about something in your emotions. So it kind of feels like realizing what you've been emotionally investing on and how much has been taken from you. And kind of getting to the point where you're just like, you know what? I've been feeding these fools every single day with how much intention, how much thought, and how much energy I've been putting on what they've done to me, the things that I've experienced, etc., etc. And I'm not going to let that happen anymore. They're not that important. And so whenever that person or that situation comes into mind, I'm going to cancel it out and throw it in the trash because it's not for me. So that being said, I used a different deck for Aries, but this one I feel like I want these. What's that all about? What's closing out for my Taurus in this Virgo energy? No place like home. No place like home tells me that you're coming back to yourself. I feel, and this goes with the first energy that I'm feeling, but I'm feeling again here, kind of this thing where you've been focusing on revenge, on it's not fair, on why can they have that life and not me? How come? And it's kind of like, you know what? The fuck do I care? I'm going to focus on myself and what I'm going to have and how I'm going to move forward. And this is not important to me anymore. So, let's see how this is going to affect you. Nine of Cups. This is the second time you get the Nine of Cups. You got it here on the second row when you started calling into your power, um, your ability to tame your inner beast. Okay. Death card. I do remember, rewind the video if you have to remember. But when I split the deck for the first one, I believe I saw the death card right off the jump. And I like this death card specifically because the death is actually cutting the last thread in a cord that is holding this situation in like the mist, so the illusion. And then the door is open behind them. So it kind of gives this assumption that once the cord is broken, you can walk through the door. And then we have the world card here. And the world card for me is literally saying walking into a whole new world. The high priestess, shut up. That's three major arcanas in a row. Literally, this is talking about like you learned so much from the situation. It's all about you right now. So it's kind of like that all this learning, all this insight, all this growth, all this expansion that you're receiving, it's kind of for your spiritual growth and development. I don't think this is something you're going to share with other people, but it's kind of like thank you next. I'm hearing that song from, I think it's Rihanna, that says thank you next. It's like the ex-boyfriend song. I'm so fucking grateful for my ex, and I feel like you're gonna find the gratitude of I feel like discovering how much the energy of envy, because this is envy, has held you back from your life and from your blessings. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I did a reading for Aries. I would recommend you to check it out for September because it has to do a lot with the Queen of Pentacles upright during this time, the 21st energy. And it was this energy where, you are a copy. Your life is a copy of all the things you heard your mother say when you were growing up. I'm not here to point blame. I'm not here to say the problem of everything is this one person, you know, because we have to take ownership and responsibilities for our lives. And the person that I'm talking to right here has come to a conclusion that maybe the way that I was taught, or maybe the way the society talks about women, maybe the way everything has been, it's not in true alignment. It's actually creating a stagnation. I found this very true when it came to stereotypes. Again, sorry. Um, Stereotypes. I grew up in the 80s. So um, a lot of the videos that showed a Hispanic person, either it was a woman living off welfare, having a boatload of kids and getting slapped around by a man, or the men are only cholos or guys that are in gangs. And um, everybody that had some melanin in their skin, um, and like were gangsters or like screwed around or whatever. I didn't realize how much that gave me such a low belief system of who I was and the options that I had in my life. And so going forward, I started learning that these are programs that were set through all these movies and stuff that negatively impacted me. And so this kind of feels like that. It feels like the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, which is the matriarchal female energy, and how she's disempowered. She's envious because everybody has something better than mine, right? And you can take it as it resonates, because it can be an actual your mom, or it can be the mom collective. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to a person, especially if you're listening to this channel, you must understand. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles, which now we have 3 nines on the table. Okay, 999. But the Nine of Pentacles is talking about freedom. Freedom, independence, your truth, you being you. And I feel like that's why you're returning back to home, because you're disconnecting yourself from the lie of what a woman is and what she represents. This is like um a very well, majority of the people that see my channel are females. But if you're not a female, this also is your belief system of what a woman is and what you were receiving expectations from. Because sometimes, for example, if we were talking the masculine side, sometimes you have an expectation of what a woman should be based on what you saw from your mother. Then you're trying to find a partner, and that partner does not fit that mold. But it's like these are different times, these are different situations, and you must change with the society that is around you. You can't compare apples to oranges. These are two different generations. And so it's kind of like awakening to the fact that you have been self sabotaging yourself because you've been creating this persona as to how this particular being should be without just accepting what they are. Um, and this goes back to this thing also that I just saw on Instagram. And everything I say has a relevance of what's going on in the reading. So let me just tell you that. But what I'm saying is that I saw this thing where this woman, she's like crying to her counselor and telling them, I just feel like, you know, it's frustrating because my mother wants a daughter that she will never have because that's not me, right? And it's like all I want her to see is that let's just accept me for me instead of trying to accept me for the person you believe that I should be. And then the counselor turns around and says to her, and so my only question to you is, why don't you give that same grace to your mother? And maybe when you give her that same grace, she can give that same grace to you because you're no longer holding her accountable for that. Those words really hit home because, sometimes I feel like we blame our partner for not being the way that we perceive that they should be. But we didn't get married to or connect to our mind. We connected to this person, and it's our obligation to learn who they are, our obligation to accept their flaws just as much as they accept ours. And the more we hate on their flaws and the more we want to change them, the more they'll want to change us, because equal and opposite reaction, right? Everyone is a mirror of you. So once there's an acceptance in one side, there's an acceptance in the other. And once the acceptance has been made, you either decide if you want to walk together or you want to walk apart. And so I think that's what's happening here. I hope this helps.